Stop scrolling, because if even half of what's being reported is true, this may be one of the most jaw-dropping social missteps in recent celebrity history. A moment meant for mourning, silence, and reverence allegedly turned into a public rejection that's now echoing across fashion and royal commentary circles. According to multiple reports and online chatter, Meghan Markle attempted to insert herself into one of the most private farewells in modern fashion history and was stopped cold. No photos inside. No quiet tribute. Just an alleged ejection that critics say exposed far more than she intended. And the reason this story won't go away? It's not just about a funeral, it's about what it symbolizes. On January 23rd in Rome, the Basilica of Santa Maria degli Angeli e dei Martiri became the epicenter of global fashion grief as the industry gathered to honor Valentino Garavani, the legendary designer whose influence shaped decades of couture, royalty, and red carpet history. This wasn't a casual public event, it was a tightly controlled, invitation-only farewell reserved for those with genuine personal or professional ties to the icon. Attendees included designers, editors, and actors who had worked closely with Valentino for years, many visibly emotional as they paid tribute. Reports describe an atmosphere of solemnity, restraint, and deep respect, exactly the kind of environment where any perceived disruption would instantly stand out. According to tabloid reports and eyewitness chatter shared online, Meghan Markle allegedly arrived at the Basilica without having received an official invitation. What immediately sparked controversy wasn't just her presence, but claims that she appeared accompanied by a noticeable entourage, including professional cameras and production staff. While there is no official confirmation from her team or Valentino's estate, the story gained traction because it contrasted sharply with the discreet way other mourners arrived. Critics argue that even if her intentions were respectful, the optics alone fueled suspicion, and that's where the narrative began to spiral. Multiple outlets and fashion insiders quoted anonymously claim that security personnel intervened almost immediately, stopping Meghan and her alleged crew before they entered the Basilica. Reports suggest there was no confusion or negotiation. Access was denied outright. If true, this moment marked a rare and very public rejection, especially given the high-profile nature of the gathering. Observers online seized on the idea that the intervention was swift and firm, interpreting it as a message rather than a misunderstanding. Still, it's important to note, no verified footage confirms what happened at the doors, only consistent third-party claims. What made the story explode wasn't just the alleged removal, it was the belief among critics that this was a calculated risk. Reports claim Meghan had quietly attempted to secure an invitation beforehand through industry contacts, citing her history of wearing Valentino designs. While she has indeed worn the brand publicly, insiders quoted by tabloids argue that there was no close personal relationship or professional collaboration with the designer. When no invitation surfaced, speculation suggests she may have decided to attend anyway, betting on access through visibility. Whether true or not, that perception became gasoline on the fire. This is where outrage intensified. Eyewitness accounts circulating online claim that Meghan didn't arrive alone or discreetly, but allegedly with filming equipment similar to what's used for branded or documentary content. Critics argue that a funeral, especially one of this magnitude, is sacred ground, not a backdrop for image rehabilitation. Even supporters who questioned the story admitted that if cameras were present, the optics would be disastrous. The idea that grief could be packaged into content struck a nerve, particularly in an industry already sensitive to authenticity versus performance. Online commentators were quick to connect this alleged incident to what they describe as a longer pattern of aggressive visibility seeking. From reported Fashion Week appearances to strategic outfit choices at global events, critics argue Meghan has often blurred the line between participation and promotion. Former colleagues and fashion insiders quoted in interviews over the years have described similar tactics: persistent outreach, strategic networking, and bold self-placement. Again, none of this proves intent, but the repetition of these claims has shaped how news stories are received, fairly or not. What truly amplified the backlash was timing. The reports surfaced during a period when Meghan's public image is already under intense scrutiny, with ongoing chatter about Netflix performance, staff turnover, and stalled lifestyle ventures. Whether these reports are exaggerated or accurate, they created an environment where critics were primed to believe the worst. In that context, the funeral story wasn't seen as an isolated rumor, it was treated as confirmation of a broader decline. Perception became reality in real time. Social media did what it always does, turned speculation into spectacle. Posts mocking the alleged rejection spread rapidly, with users framing the moment as symbolic humiliation. Hashtags trended, reaction videos popped up, and tabloid headlines multiplied. Importantly, very few voices publicly defended Meghan in this instance, which only reinforced the narrative momentum. In the attention economy, silence often speaks louder than statements, and critics notice the lack of pushback from Hollywood or fashion elites. Despite the outrage, skeptics have raised a critical point. There is no verified footage or official statement confirming the alleged ejection. No images from inside the basilica, no security report, no confirmation from Valentino's foundation. Supporters argue that the story may be exaggerated, selectively leaked, or even fabricated to feed an existing bias. This lack of hard evidence has kept the story in a gray zone alive, viral, but unproven. Even without proof, the story resonates because it aligns with existing public narratives. In media psychology, this is called narrative confirmation. People believe what fits what they already think they know. Meghan's critics see entitlement and opportunism. Supporters see a woman targeted unfairly. The funeral incident became a Rorschach test, revealing more about public perception than about what actually happened in Rome. What may be most telling, according to observers, is the fashion industry's response, or lack thereof. No designers rushed to clarify. No editors issued corrections. The focus remained squarely on Valentino's legacy, not the controversy outside. To critics, that silence felt deliberate, reinforcing the idea that the industry draws a hard line when authenticity is questioned. To supporters, it felt like quiet complicity in a smear. Either way, the silence amplified the damage. At its core, this story taps into a deeper cultural tension: authenticity versus ambition. In an era obsessed with branding, audiences are increasingly unforgiving when ambition appears to override sincerity. Valentino represented timeless elegance, restraint, and discretion. Any perceived attempt to attach oneself to that legacy for visibility, fair or not, was bound to provoke backlash. This is why the story refuses to die. Whether these reports are fully accurate, partially true, or wildly exaggerated, one thing is undeniable: the optics were brutal. A moment meant to honor a legend allegedly turned into a symbol of exclusion, rejection, and image fatigue. The cameras may not have captured what happened inside the basilica, but the story outside has already cemented itself in public consciousness. The real question now isn't what happened at the door, it's what happens next. Does this become a turning point, or just another chapter in a saga defined by controversy? The world is watching, and this time, it's not looking away.